If the ratio of sugar to water is 2 to 5, how much water is needed for 8 parts of sugar? All right, so we're really talking about practical mathematics, right? So maybe we have a recipe and we need to follow it, but again, the ratio of sugar to water is 2 to 5. So this little colon right there means 2, so this is 2 to 5. So how much water is needed if we have 8 parts of sugar? Now, many of you have a lot of experience with working with ratios and solving problems like this because this is a very practical type of math problem. In other words, if you are maybe following a recipe and trying to cook something, you'll definitely work with this word ratio. Or maybe you work in construction and you're trying to mix, let's say, for example, epoxy. You got to be able to have the correct ratio. So, from a mathematical standpoint, let's just kind of define this word. All right, so a ratio more or less is a fraction. Okay, so we'll just keep it like that for the time being. There is a couple little technical things that I'll speak to later on, but effectively a ratio is a fraction. Now, when you hear this word ratio from a mathematical standpoint, you also want to think of this word called a proportion, and we're going to be using this concept to solve this problem. Okay, so here again we have this ratio of sugar to water, two things, and the ratio to sugar to water is 2 to 5. So this is just a notation that is used in ratios, and we'll talk a little bit more about what this means. But the question is, how much water is needed for 8 parts of sugar? So let's just kind of think about this here for a second. All right, so if the ratio of sugar to water is 2 to 5, and the question is how much water is needed for 8 parts of sugar. So our sugar is going to go to 8. So how much water is going to be needed if we increase our parts of sugar from 2 to 8, right? So of course we have to increase our parts of water to keep up with the increase of sugar. All right, so we're going to kind of look at this problem in a few different ways. So I think the best approach is to kind of visualize it and look at it this way. So here is our sugar and here is our water. And you can see here we have less sugar than water, okay, because we have 2 parts of sugar and 5 parts of water. So this is the ratio of these two ingredients, and we can express it this way, 2 to 5. Again, this colon means the word 2, or you can write it this way, 2 to 5, okay? All right, so these are two ways to express a ratio. Now, let me go back up here and define real quick the difference between a ratio and something else that we use in math called a rate. Right? This is really important. So a ratio would be, for example, 2 to 5, right? Now I can express this ratio as 2 to 5, or I can use the word 2 again, so 2 to 5. Now, a rate would be something like 60 miles per hour. Okay, now I'm going to write this way. So 60 miles per 1 hour. Now, when you hear this word per, we're talking about a rate. And when you hear this word to, we're talking about a ratio. But both a ratio and a rate can be expressed as fractions, or technically they are fractions. And the big difference here is that in a rate, the units of measure are completely different. In other words, we're comparing miles in this particular example to hours. We're comparing distance to time. Whereas a ratio, we are comparing parts, okay? Let's take a look at another example of a ratio. So maybe like 1 to 20 student-teacher ratio. In other words, there is one teacher to 20 students. So somebody might be saying, hey, Mr. YouTube Math, man, you're comparing teachers to students. Aren't these different units of measure? No, we're counting human beings, okay? So you got to be real careful when it comes to identifying whether something is a ratio or a rate. But again, from a mathematical standpoint, they are both fractions. Now, when you have ratios and rates, you want to be thinking about proportions, and I'll talk about that in a second. But let's kind of go back here and look at our sugar to water. So this is 2 parts to 5 parts of sugar. Again, we are counting parts. Okay, so let's take this a step further and look at it this way. So here is kind of our ingredients, right? Our ingredient or our recipe is telling us use 2 parts of sugar to 5 parts of water. So something like this. Now let's suppose we increase our parts of sugar to 4. Well, that means we have to increase our parts of water to 10, right? So we're just going to double the amount of sugar and double the amount of water. Okay, so now we have 4 parts of sugar to 10 parts of water. But what would be a good word to use here? Okay, now I'm going to give you a big hint. It starts with a P, and I already used it a few times. Well, what we're talking about is that we need to keep these quantities in proportion. Okay, so in other words, this is kind of our recipe, but if we increase the parts of sugar or water, we have to keep separate amounts here, or the individual amounts in the same proportion. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that we're constructing 2 equal fractions. Okay, so 2 parts to 5 parts is in proportion to 4 parts to 10 parts. So we can see this better this way. So when you have a ratio, for example, 2 to 5 or 2 to 5, you can express it as a fraction 2 to 5, 2 parts of sugar to 5 parts of water. But over here, if we increase our parts of sugar to 4, well, we have to increase our parts of water to 10, okay? So what we have to do is keep the same proportion. So in other words, 2/5 is equivalent to 4/10. If I reduce this fraction 4/10, I get back to 2/5. Okay, so in other words, the parts of sugar and water are still in proportion to 2/5. But basically what I want you to know here is that 2/5 is equal to the fraction 4/10. So 2 equal fractions in mathematics is what we call a proportion. And you can use proportions to solve all different sorts of problems. And I'm going to show you how to solve this problem using a proportion as well. So now that we have a good understanding of what a ratio is, I want to show you 2 different ways to solve this problem. And the first way, I'm going to kind of classify it as kind of a common sense or logical approach. And the second way we will solve this problem is using basic algebra. All right, so if the ratio of sugar to water is 2 to 5, how much water is needed for 8 parts of sugar? So one way to kind of see this visually is to kind of go back to our model. So here is our sugar. We have 2 parts of sugar for 5 parts of water. Now, if we increase our sugar to 8, now let's just kind of go back to the problem, right? So the ratio of sugar to water is 2 to 5. How much water? We don't know how much water, but we're looking for how much water we need when we increase our parts of sugar to 8. Okay, so when we have 8 parts of sugar, how much water do we need? So just kind of keep that in mind as we look at this kind of visual depiction of the problem. All right, so we have this ratio 2 to 5 sugar to water. Now we're going to go from 2 to 8. Okay, now how do we go from a 2 to an 8? Well, we can multiply by 4, right? So 2 times 4 is 8. So from 2 parts of sugar to 8 parts of sugar, we can just simply multiply a 4 by this 2. Well, if we multiply this 2 by a 4, it's probably a good idea to multiply a 4 by 5, which is the parts of water that we need, right? So 5 times 4 is what? Well, it is 20, which is the correct answer. So if the ratio is 2 to 5 sugar to water, and you have 8 parts of sugar, you need 20 parts of water to keep the same proportion because 2/5 or 2 to 5 is equal to the fraction 8 over 20, right? So 4 goes into 8 too, and 4 goes into 25. Okay, so this is one approach that you could use to solve this problem. And a lot of you have so much experience working with recipes and mixing things. You probably just did this really fast, and that is fantastic. But these ratio, rate type of problems can get far more interesting. And now I'm going to show you an algebraic way to solve this problem. So to solve this problem using algebra, we still want to focus in on this word ratio. And anytime you see the word ratio in a math problem, you want to be thinking about a fraction, and you also want to be thinking about a proportion, which is two equal fractions. So we're going to be setting up a proportion to solve this problem. And the first thing that we need to do is express our ratio here, 2 to 5. Instead of using this colon, we want to write this ratio as a fraction. So instead of 2 to 5 this way, we can write this ratio as 2 parts of sugar to 5 parts of water. So now we have a fraction, and that's going to help us set up a proportion to solve this problem. Okay, so again, if you have your ratio expressed like this, 2 parts of sugar to 5 parts of water, you want to rewrite it again as a fraction. Now, oftentimes people get their fractions confused in terms of what is the numerator and what is the denominator. So here, 2 parts of sugar, this is the numerator. In other words, the numerator is the parts of sugar and the denominator is the parts of water. So we always have to keep this in mind, especially when we set up a proportion. But before we get into the actual setup here, let's just do a quick review about proportions. All right, so again, a proportion is two equal fractions, but the main idea here in a proportion is that you can use a property called the cross product. So anytime you have two equal fractions, i.e. a proportion, the cross products are equal. So in other words, when you cross multiply, for example, 2 times 4, that is 8, and that is going to be equal to the cross product going this way, 1 times 8, which of course is 8. So this is a critical property of proportions, and we can use the cross product to solve proportion problems. All right, so keep that in mind, and now we're going to actually set up this proportion. All right, so here is our ratio. Now remember, a ratio is a fraction. So by definition, a proportion is two equal fractions or two equal ratios or two equal rates. So here is our ratio. We have 2 parts of sugar to 5 parts of water. And what we want to do is construct a fraction that is in proportion to this ratio, okay? But the parts of sugar instead of 2 are going to be 8. So what we don't know is the parts of water. So essentially what we're looking to do is build a fraction that is equivalent to this fraction right here. So these will be two equal fractions, or again, by definition, a proportion. All right, so here is our ratio. We have 2 parts of sugar to 5 parts of water, and that's going to be equal to another fraction that is 8 parts of sugar to we don't know what amount of water. So we use a variable like x to represent that amount. Okay, so now we're going to focus in on the simple algebra to find this amount of water. All right, so we have 2 over 5 is equal to 8 over x. How do we solve this simple algebraic equation? Well, we're going to use the cross product to solve for x. All right, so in other words, we have a proportion, i.e. two equal fractions. So all we have to do is cross multiply, or we use the cross product. So 2 times x is 2x. 5 times 8 is going to be, of course, 40. So now we have 2x is equal to 40. So to solve for x, all we have to do is divide both sides of the equation by 2. So 40 divided by 2 is 20. So there again is our answer. X is equal to 20, or we need 20 parts of water if we have 8 parts of sugar. So again, 8 over 20, we can reduce this down to the fraction 2/5. Okay, so how did you do with this problem? Well, if you got the right answer using any technique, that is fantastic. And we definitely got to give you a nice little happy face and an A+. That is great. But the main kind of idea of this video is to really make sure you understand what a ratio is and what a proportion is, because although this problem is pretty easy to solve using kind of direct calculations, you can get far more interesting and challenging ratio and rate and proportion problems in mathematics, and it's important that you understand these properties of proportions like the cross product. All right, now if you need additional help in anything mathematics, make sure to check out my full main math courses. You can find links to those in the description of this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, so with all that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your math adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.